It's secrets. So there was definitely secretive talk, secretive meetups. And Sun and Scorpios, Ryan is a Sun and Scorpio, her husband, are very intuitive. They can smell when something's up. And he was like, something's not right. She's acting differently. She's acting giggly. If you've ever been cheated on, I've been cheated on. You notice that your partner starts to act differently. I think that's what made me notice Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. My name is Holly, so grateful to have you all. Let's get into this reading. I'm really excited to be doing this. If you haven't watched my previous videos that I've done with this whole It Ends With Us situation, I did my first one about 6 months ago. Then I've done a few updates and videos. In fact, I'm going to create a playlist, so by the time you watch this, I will have created a playlist. Either it's at the end of the video or it will be a card throughout the video. So either or, if you watch on the TV, you can't see the cards, but I will definitely have it at the end of the video. So I've really been so obsessed with the story. When it broke, I wasn't that obsessed with it, but a lot of what I predicted has come true. So check out check out all of them if you haven't been keeping up with it, because I've been almost 100% accurate about the story. All the energies, the tarot has been correct. And I said, I'm just going to do a brief synopsis of the Blake versus Justin, Ryan being involved, and so forth and so forth. I also did a Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds where I suspected some kind of cheating. So in all of that, the synopsis that I predicted in some of it was that Blake and Justin were flirting. I think Blake developed feelings for him, and that's when Ryan came in and was like, this is not going to happen. You're not going to fall in love with your co-star. You're not going to leave me. She has two sides to her, I said. She has her innocent, sweet side and then her other nasty side. She comes across very two-faced energy, which I've noticed that in Leo placements in women. I think Sun and Leo, I love Leos, but sometimes they can be very gossipy and kind of have like another side to them. I see two sides, I often compare them to Galinda from Wicked, wanting to be popular and being everybody's good graces, but then also wanting to come across like a bad ASS, if you know what I'm talking about. So, and his opposite, he is a Sun in Aquarius. She's not a Sun in Virgo. Excuse me, she's not a Sun in Leo, she's a Sun in Virgo, Blake. But the opposite of her rising, which is rising in Leo, is Aquarius. So I think she wants to come across, it's very evident to me that she comes across as like, I want to be cool, I want to be this, I want to be accepted. And he is the opposite of that, where he wants to be humble and prove to everybody, constantly prove, which I think is his downside. It's a downside in Aquarius. I used to suffer from that. Is to show everybody his heart, which is impossible to prove. So after everything coming out, I did say that we're going to see a lot of things come out. I did say Blake is going to try to refute it. The backlash is going to be a lot. It's going to get, I believe, worse. I said I saw them settling in October. I believe New York Times is going to settle before that, and then that's going to force Ryan. She's going to get Ryan and Blake are going to get a lot of pressure to settle. They're not going to, because Ryan, who I believe is behind all of this, is very stubborn, very, very stubborn. Sun and Scorpios can be he's a Sun and Scorpio, can be very, very stubborn. And he wants to prove people wrong, which is Sun and Scorpios, it can work to their advantage or it can work to their disadvantage. And I think we'll see the outcome when I read the tarot, but it's not looking good. I predicted a divorce in the next 2 to 3 years, and I predicted also that when she leaves, she's going to blame him. She's going to blame Ryan for the situation and say that he forced her to go against Justin. So that's what I have for you. But now let's get into today's tarot. So I'm using the Crystal Magic Tarot. This is how the front looks. I really love it. It's nice and easy to use. I do have 2 memberships. One of them I do cover tarot, like I review tarot. So check that out. Okay, so when I pulled up, I first shuffled the cards for the energy between Blake and Justin, and I got the moon. Now, if you know anything about the moon, it's secrets. So there was definitely secretive talk, secretive meetups. And you know, Sun and Scorpios, Ryan is a Sun and Scorpio, her husband, are very intuitive. They can smell when something's up. And he was like, something's not right. She's acting differently. She's acting giggly. You know, if you've ever been cheated on, I've been cheated on, you notice that your partner starts to act differently. I think that's what made me notice the first sign that I was like, they act like, especially if you've been with that person for a long time, they start to act like giggly and she's acting very giggly. I get that energy of like, she's acting like young and hip and changing her wardrobe, stuff like that, which is telltale sign number 1 of cheating. So I don't think that she did cheat. I think she was planning on. So let's see what the secret is. Because I see Ryan, I get this image very strongly of Ryan peeping on her. Like she's on the phone and he's looking through the creak of the door to what she's doing. Like he's keeping an eye on her without her knowing. So with 2 of wands, 4 of coins, and 8 of swords. So she started to become very isolated from Ryan. I don't think the feelings were reciprocated from Justin to Blake. I definitely think it was Blake to Justin. And people are blaming her a lot. I do not think it's a blame anybody situation. I think we can all learn about this. I don't do this man versus woman thing. I just don't. I never have. I don't believe in it. I think with everything, there is good and evil to everyone. Men, woman, black, white, whatever it is. You cannot say a specific person acts like this. Cultures, yes, you can say that. In general. Star signs, sun signs, you can say in general. But when you say women never lie, I don't buy that. You know, when you say why are we always attacking the woman, I don't buy that. Sometimes that is the case, but I don't believe that to be the case here. I do think people are going after Blake a little too much, and I don't think it has anything to do with her being a woman. I think it's because she's so dislikable. And Ryan is so likable. Because he's been able to hide, as Sun and Scorpios are great at doing, they're very able to hide the other side to them. She's not. She's not good at hiding it. He is, and I think he's actually way worse than she is. He's just very good at hiding it. So, with 2 of wands, I see her, she's like, you know, 2 of wands is the energy of, you know, when you're about to jump into the pool and you dip your toe in it to see if it's cold. She, I believe, was thinking about leaving. I said this before. I think they are in an unhappy relationship, an unhappy marriage. And we all know what it's like when you are in an unhappy marriage. You know, I've been, my first roommates that I ever had were a couple in New York. And, well, other than my sister. My sister was my roommate first, and then I moved out. Then I moved into my own place with this couple. A quick story. This couple made my life hell. They were some of the worst roommates that I had. The guy became obsessed with me. He would obsess over me. He would call me. He would text me. And she caught on to that. She was also Sun and Scorpio, which is so funny. She was either Sun and Scorpio or Sun and Capricorn, one of those two. But she caught on to that, and she made my life hell. Like, she was so mean to me. She used to bully me. And she was like a 30-something older than I was 19 at the time. I was so confused what was going on. But they were in an unhappy relationship. And I remember she used to work like really long hours. He didn't work. And she used to work really long hours. And sometimes I'd come home and he would beg for me to stay with him so he could tell me stories. So he would tell me stories about his life and stuff. And I would just sit and listen. And I wasn't, I didn't find him attractive at all. I actually had a boyfriend. And she would come home and be like, what's going on, and that kind of stuff. And I was so confused. I was like, I don't find him this guy attractive at all. Like, he's not my type at all. But it wasn't about me, it was his obsession with me, you know. So that's what's going on here with Justin. It's not about Justin, it's about Blake's behavior towards Justin that makes Ryan mad. It makes him insecure, a lot of insecurity. So things are going to really heat up. We're going to find out more. We're going to find out she was coming on to him, and he had to be like, okay, you know, placate and just be like, you know, like I said, she was testing the water. Like, should I jump ship to this guy? You know, is he... Because in her mind, being an A-lister, getting everything she wants, growing up wealthy, you know, in her mind, she can have anyone she wants. She hasn't been disillusioned with reality in life, I don't think, ever. And she was ready to jump ship, I believe, from the relationship and jump into this one with Justin. Because I don't think she's ever really been single. She gives me that vibe, like she's never really been single. And isn't capable of being single. Some people are just incapable of being single. They jump from relationship to relationship, and that's why they never really heal. They don't grow as people because they always have a shield of responsibility, or they always have a reason as to why they do what they do, you know. So I then pulled up the energy of Blake and Ryan, and I got the Tower. So let's see what the surprise is. The Tower is often about a surprise. Let's see what the surprise is. But I do see a divorce in the next 2-3 years. It's going to get nasty. The divorce is going to be very, very nasty. Mark my words. Let's see what's the surprise. Okay, Knight of Wands, Judgment, and Page of Cups. So the love is gone. I really strongly believe that they don't really have feelings for each other. They're just basically like roommates. They are in an unhappy marriage. Strongly, I believe that. Intuitively, this is intuitive based, it's not fact based. But with Knight of Wands, Judgment, and Page of Cups, they are in an unhappy marriage. And I think this is the energy that I get. Oh my gosh, wow. I picked this up very strongly, that she'll, which is probably what made her like Justin so much, is that he's very charming. Very charming. Aquarius are the known zodiac sign for being charming. And I think in these scenes, she would feel feelings. And that's why I've always, I've dated a lot of actors. None of them, at the time that I dated them, were in a romantic movie. And thank goodness, because I don't think I'd be able to. Not that I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would just be... You hear so many stories about actors falling in love with their co-stars, and it makes sense, that it would make me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it just would. If I saw like my spouse or boyfriend or whatever falling in love with somebody on screen, it would be very difficult to take. So that's the thing with him. He's like fighting the fact that that their relationship's over. Their relationship is very much over because they've just grown apart. I don't want to blame either person, but they've just grown apart. They're not happy in this marriage. Not at all. So she sees Justin, and I get the sense that she has like Arrested Development, where she has like a princess syndrome, and she still is very young in her mind. I'm just remembering, actually, when I said that, when she did that speech, when she made that speech to him about him coming home, it seemed very fabricated. I don't know, I didn't really buy into it. I never buy into these Hollywood things. I always think that they're very cheesy. But he was crying, and she was like, he comes home. It seemed like she was putting on a performance. And he was like, and I love, trust me, I'm such a romantic. When it's genuine, I get so mushy and stuff like that. But just came across very full show. And he was falling for it. But everybody else was like, this is weird. So he he feels like he raised her type, you know? There's that Shakespearean story about, is it Shakespearean? I remember. A Shakespearean story about when an older man is with a younger woman, and he basically molds her into who she is, and then she ends up leaving, and he is upset about it. Is it a Shakespearean story or it's a Greek myth? I don't remember, but there's a story like that where he feels like he molded her into this being, and now she's older and she wants to be free, and he has difficulty with that. And I see that here. He has difficulty with her wanting to be free, wanting to be her own person, and that's what causes friction. That he sees her as like a father type. And it's very sad because I've dated older guys. Most guys I've dated have been older than me. My ex was very older, way older than I am, and I never felt like that. I never felt, and I wouldn't have stayed if I felt like he had a hold over me, all that. And I've been with some men that have tried to. My longest relationship was like that. But as I've gotten older, I would not stay. And they did meet when she was very young, so that should tell you too. So I pulled up the energy of Justin and his wife, Elizabeth Baldoni. I believe that's her name, Elizabeth. So beautiful, so much grace. 10 of Wands, the energy that I got from the tarot. And 10 of Wands about difficulty. So it seems like they're going through hardship. You know, this must be very hard. I did say in the last reading I did about the situation that he needs to also remember she's human. She deserves to be loved. She also deserves to be remembered. You know, when somebody can go through a difficult legal situation, they can forget about the people in their lives. So I'm glad I saw a picture that he was on vacation and genuinely enjoying his life. I really hope he remembers that and practices gratitude, because it can be you can get a lot when you're dealing with such high stakes from a lawsuit. So the Strength, 6 of Wands and 9 of Wands. It seems here that they will overcome this. They might have hiccups where he won't sleep over, stuff like that, where she kicks him out. I see that. But in the end, they will recover from this, 100%. They just have to take it day by day and be honest with one another. Not have things built up at all from either side. So I also pulled the energy because Taylor Swift has been pulled into this. You know, I never saw Game of Thrones ever. I don't really like stuff like that, but I tried to watch 10 minutes of it. My ex-boyfriend was obsessed with this. I tried to watch 10 minutes with him, and I was like on my phone. I wasn't paying attention. I was so bored. But I never got into it. But she compared herself in texts that were revealed through the lawsuit that she is like Khaleesi and her dragons. Like Game of Thrones, Khaleesi, from what I know, is the queen of the dragons, and she has these dragons that she unleashes to kill people. I didn't watch Game of Thrones like I said, but that's what I remember of it, because people talk about Khaleesi. It's just not my kind of thing. But Blake described herself as Khaleesi, and her dragons were Ryan and Taylor Swift, which I find very interesting. Her friend is considered her dragon. It seems like in the lawsuit, what they're alleging, that she was threatening him and basically saying, if you don't go along with everything, we're going to take over, you know. So with the Justice, I pulled up the energy between Taylor and Blake. With the Justice, 9 of Swords, this is actually hidden behind the Fool. I think their friendship, is going to really suffer. Now, she is the godparent to their children. I wonder how that's going to play out. But with Justice, I see her being heavily involved in this lawsuit. I love Taylor Swift's music, you know. I think she's very talented. I think she is just very talented. Very, very talented. But I don't subscribe to this idea that because I love somebody's art, they are incapable of having flaws. We all have flaws. I could tell you at least 5 of my flaws today that I own. So if I have flaws and I'm owning my flaws, I'm not saying I'm Jesus, I'm not saying I'm anything, I'm just saying I'm a person, as Taylor Swift is, Everybody does. And I've seen, especially the energy that I get from her, she's very, and every time I speak about this, Taylor's people come after me. I don't care, I will speak about it again. She's very manipulative, which is a shadow side of Sun and Sagittarius, which Taylor is. They can be very manipulative. And through her manipulation, she is going to side with, she's going to see how people are. That's what she does. She sees where people are siding. And when she sees that people side with Justin, she's going to distance herself from Blake. And I see her and Ryan still being friends. I don't see her and Blake being friends. Now, it could change because, it is intuitive based. But she's the perpetual victim. And the perpetual victim cannot be associated with anything negative or playing a part in anything negative, because it has to always happen to them, It's also very Sun and Sagittarius. And because it always happens to her, she can't be associated with somebody that's doing it to somebody else or has been found to do it to somebody else. Because she can do it, she can be involved, but not publicly. So with 9 of Coins, 7 of Wands, and the Empress, I get very strongly here that in the beginning, they'll placate, they'll be like, oh yeah, we're hanging out. But after it all, Taylor will no longer be her friend. She just won't. She's going to decide, this is not the friendship. She'll even come out and say in an interview, both of them will come out and say, and like I said, I see her and Ryan being friends. I see Taylor and Ryan being friends. Oh my gosh, so many names. I grew up with so many names like Blake, Taylor, Ryan, so it's sort of like common names. I get confused all the time. But I see that happening very strongly, is that she is no longer going to see, and trust me, I understand where she's coming from. I just think to the public eye, she loves to come across innocent all the time, but she's not innocent. Nobody ever really is if you hang around with mean girls. You're not, So, and some people have said, oh yeah, I don't see Taylor having any involvement in it. Like, I don't see her. I think she very well knew what was going on. And this is another thing that I thought of the other day. Blake said she had to force production or whomever to get Taylor's music played, right? That's pay for play. That's quid pro quo. That is, you do for me, I do for you. And you do for me is tell Justin I wrote a good script so that I get your song played to millions of people in a movie. It's very, very simple. I don't know why people are having such difficulty understanding that. And like I said, I love Taylor Swift music. But it's time for people to get honest about worshipping. Don't worship anybody. Don't worship anybody. Look at examples in your own life. And look at those people. Because I'm telling you, you don't know these people. The PR machine is very strong. Very, very strong. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. I will continue to do updates about this. I find this story very fascinating. Especially being a Sun Aquarius. I say this all the time. Justin the Sun Aquarius. It is Aquarius season. I believe his birthday is actually in 2 days from when I have recorded this. He's on the 24th, same day as my sister was. If you're an Aquarius and you feel like an outsider, keep it that way, Be cordial with people, be polite, but you don't have to force yourself to fit in. We're never going to fit in. That's our superpower. People actually like that about us. So don't conform. Be yourself. And I think that's why Blake fell so in love with Justin, because he's authentic. And in authenticity, you have nothing to prove. Time will tell. Everything will speak for itself. So that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. I would love to have to say it, but please don't be disrespectful. Especially you Taylor people. I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it any day. Take care.